Under the glow of New York's chandeliers, a billionaire's arrogance collided with a self-made woman's quiet power. The night was meant to honor innovation, but instead, it exposed the kind of elitism that still hides behind designer gowns and champagne flutes. When Vivien Royce, the heiress to a legacy of wealth, mocked a black CEO in front of flashing cameras, she had no idea the woman she humiliated would destroy her empire before sunrise. Amara Lewis had built her fortune from grit, intellect, and vision. No family name, no silver spoon. She didn't come from privilege, she built it brick by brick. But that night they saw only her color, not her caliber. As laughter echoed and whispers spread, Amara made a single phone call that flipped the entire power structure of New York's elite. By dawn, her name was on every news headline. The Royce dynasty had fallen and justice was trending. What began as humiliation became a masterclass in poetic retribution, a story that proves power doesn't come from birthright, but from brilliance. She arrived at the gala as an honored guest, but left as the storm no one saw coming. Beneath the crystal chandeliers that lit up New York's elite, billionaire heiress Vivien Royce smirked, accused her of being a fraud dressed in borrowed prestige, and coldly ordered security to remove her. Cameras flashed, laughter rippled across the hall, and arrogance filled the air like perfume. What no one at that glittering table realized was this. The black woman they mocked was Amara Lewis, self-made billionaire, visionary CEO, and the woman behind a $40 billion global empire. And before sunrise, she would own every inch of the Royce family's powerful dynasty. The Royce Foundation Gala was meant to celebrate the future of innovation. Instead, it revealed the rot, festering beneath polished marble floors and counterfeit charity smiles. Amara Lewis stepped out from her sleek car beneath the grand awning of the Royce Hotel. The cameras flickered like lightning, reporters murmured, and every lens in the crowd turned toward her. She wasn't just a guest. She was one of the most influential CEOs in America, the founder of Lewis Global Holdings, the firm that had revived dying corporations and transformed them into billion-dollar success stories. Yet when she entered the ballroom, the air shifted. Heads turned, not with admiration, but with the quiet judgment of old money. The scent of power mingled with perfume and pretense. Every handshake felt rehearsed, every compliment calculated. And at the center of it all stood Vivien Royce, the heiress to the Royce fortune. Born into a legacy built not from innovation, but inheritance. Amara, Vivien purred as she approached, her tone dripping with practiced condescension. So lovely you could join us. I didn't realize they extended invitations so broadly this year. Amara met her smile with grace. Progress tends to widen the doors every year, she replied evenly. Vivien's grin thinned. Of course, just try to remain within the guest area tonight. Security has a habit of confusing outsiders. A ripple of polite laughter circled the nearby guests, each pretending not to notice the venom hiding behind Vivien's charm. Amara didn't respond. She simply walked toward the donor table. Yet whispers followed like shadows. Words like new money floated through the air, each one slicing sharper than glass. But Vivien wasn't finished. She leaned toward her assistant and whispered, "Get a bottle ready. Champagne for the real guests only." Moments later, when Amara reached for a flute of water, a waiter stopped her hand. "I'm sorry, ma'am. That's reserved for donors." Amara arched a brow. "Check the name tag." The waiter hesitated, then froze as his eyes landed on her badge. Amara Lewis, Platinum Benefactor. Before he could apologize, Vivien swept in with photographers in tow. "Is there a problem here?" she asked sweetly. "No, Miss Royce," the waiter stammered. Vivien gave Amara a pitying smile. "Oh, I see. A misunderstanding, it happens. You'd be surprised how many guests pretend to belong." Cameras flashed in every direction, capturing Vivien's smug grin, Amara's calm composure, and the electric tension that pulsed through the air. Amara's voice was steady. "Pretending isn't really my style. Ownership is." Vivien laughed too loudly. "Ownership? That's adorable." She turned toward the cameras. "Let's not confuse ambition with access." The laughter that followed wasn't friendly. It was the cruel kind. The kind that said Amara had been put back in her supposed place. Beneath them, moments later, Vivien raised her hand. "Security. Escort her out, please. We can't have imposters disturbing the donors." One guard hesitated. "Ma'am, she's on the list." Vivien's smile hardened. "Then take her off it." The ballroom fell silent. Amara stood surrounded by guards as cameras burst like gunfire. But she didn't flinch. She didn't plead. Instead, she calmly lifted her phone, pressed one number, and said 3 soft words. "Activate Protocol 7. Everything stopped. The guards froze, servers halted mid-step, and even Vivien frowned in confusion. "What did you just say?" Amara gave a faint smile. "Just a business call. You'll feel it soon." She turned and walked away, heels echoing sharply across the marble floor as whispers erupted behind her. Within 30 minutes, Lewis Global Holdings began a silent takeover. Her team targeted every Royce Group creditor, partner, and underfunded division. By midnight, her legal team had filed emergency acquisition papers. By 2 a.m., financial control had shifted, and by sunrise, Vivien's phone wouldn't stop ringing. Her father, her CFO, the board, each voice trembled with panic. "Vivien," one executive said breathlessly, "we've lost majority shares." "What do you mean lost them?" She snapped. "They've been purchased overnight." "By who?" Silence, then a voice small and fearful. "By Amara Lewis." The phone slipped from Vivien's hand. Outside her window, the skyline blazed with dawn, but her empire was collapsing in real time. Within hours, every major network ran the same headline: Lewis Global acquires Royce Group in overnight takeover. Vivien stormed into the Royce Tower boardroom, only to find Amara already seated at the head of the table, composed, confident, unshakable. "You can't be serious," Vivien said, trembling. "This is my company." "Was," Amara corrected softly. "Now it's mine." "This is revenge," Vivien hissed. "This," Amara replied, "is correction." Vivien's face turned crimson. "You'll regret this. You think power is a game you can buy?" Amara leaned forward. "You thought power was a birthright you could inherit." Silence swept through the room. Board members exchanged uneasy glances. Outside the glass walls, cameras were already rolling. Amara rose to her feet. "Last night you tried to erase me from a room full of people who preach progress. You reminded me that respect isn't always earned by merit. Sometimes it has to be taken. So I took yours." She handed a folder to the board secretary. "Effective immediately. All positions held by the Royce family are terminated. The staff will be retained under new contracts. Every discriminatory clause in this company's history deleted." Vivien's voice cracked. "You can't just—" Amara cut her off. "I can. And I already have." Then she turned toward the waiting press. Cameras flashed once more. But this time, she stood framed in authority and power. When asked for comment, Amara spoke with calm conviction. "Arrogance collapses fastest when it underestimates intelligence. The Royce name built a kingdom on exclusion. Today that kingdom belongs to everyone who was told they'd never walk through its gates." Her words went viral within hours. Markets called her takeover bold and visionary. The Royce dynasty was over, absorbed, restructured, forgotten. And Amara Lewis didn't just buy an empire, she bought her respect back. With interest. If you believe silence should never answer arrogance, let your voice be heard. Like this video, share it everywhere, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from and which moment hit you hardest. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more stories where power meets justice.